welcome back. I'm Erin, the Two Martini Stitcher, both here on YouTube and on Instagram. My pronouns are she, her, and I am here for the last update of 2023. So exciting. I am going to do a whip parade next week. It is whip parade season. I have already seen a few drop. I love watching a whip parade, and if you do too, then I'm going to film one next week. And that'll be up before the new year. But I thought I'd come back before then and show you all the things that I've been working on. I have lots to show today. I have a pile of fully finished items. And then I have another finish that isn't fully finished. I have some whips, a tiny little bit of knitting, some purchases. So let's just jump right into it. And then we'll be all caught up. And before the holidays, it is Monday, December 18th. It's Monday, December 18th. So that's when I'm filming this. And yeah, as I said, this is going to be my last little update before the new year, because my middle daughter gets home from college in 2 days. She'll be home on the 20th. And then it's just going to be full on family time until after the new year. So I don't think that there'll be a ton of stitching. And they're all going to go skiing one day. So that's going to be my one day to film my whip parade. But I wanted to do a little update before then. So first, let's jump into fully finished items. So like many of you, I participated in the Jingle Ball, which happened the first weekend in December. And if you're not familiar with the Jingle Ball, it is an online event that is put together by Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches. A whole bunch of designers come together. I can't remember how many, and there's classes and shopping and exclusive charts and stitching rooms, and it was a very fun weekend. I did take a couple classes. I should have brought over my pins. I will post a picture here. Those are the pins that I made. I took Beth Twist's pin making class, and she sent out kits. I did the kitted option. There was just a PDF option as well. If you had your own beads and everything and all the stuffs to make pins, then you could do just a PDF. But I did the kitted option, and she sent everything that you needed. And then we got to spend a fun 90 minutes with Beth Twist and made those adorable pins. I think there were 3 different sets, and it was kind of random which one you got. And I love my little snowman pins. The other class that I signed up for and took, was one that Jeanette Douglas was giving on specialty stitches. It was a Learn Your Specialty Stitches class. And I have done some specialty stitches in the past, but I had heard that Jeanette's classes are really fantastic, that she is a great teacher. True, can confirm. And that her classes are great. A lot of her classes, I know she does one fairly frequently at Acorns and Threads, and they're usually a kitted class, and they're a little on the spendy side. So this was nice because it was a PDF, source your own materials. She provided the chart, and then we walked through it with her, and she had these amazing like boards that she would show the specialty stitches with yarn. It was really great. And so I worked on that during the class and then some over the weekend. And not only did I finish it, but I fully finished it. So here is my class piece from Jeanette Douglas's class. This was a ornament. I think I picked these up. They might have been a 3-pack at Target several years ago. But there was like a little cutout with a painted scene. And I just cut a little piece of chipboard that would fit in that indentation, and I put the stitch piece over it and popped it in there, and then I just used this ribbon. You can see it's just like tacked on the back to kind of frame it out. But so this is my class piece from Jeanette Douglas. It's on a mystery 32 count linen, and you can see we learned like the herringbone stitch for the border, and we did a bunch of Smyrna crosses, which I've done before, a bunch of eyelets. These are Rhodes stitches, which I had never done before, really fun, and my very first ever queen stitch. And then there's some satin stitching in there too. So this was really fun to do. And then this is already hanging up on my tree. That was really, really fun. And she did give like her colors, what she used. And I had a couple of the called for. And then the rest, I just pulled some Brennan needle. You needed like 2 pinky reds and 2 greens, and then a brown and a teal. So that's what I used for that. And I love it. It was really, really fun. And I'm excited to do more charts with specialty stitches. So that was a start, a finish, and a fully finish. The rest of these are things that I had previously finished that I have now fully finished. And most of them are just framed. Most of them I either bought some frames on Etsy or went to Michael's and they fit into kind of standard off-the-shelf frames. So the first piece is the only one that's not framed, and this is can't even remember the name of this chart. It's something pumpkins from I can't even remember the name of this chart. I finished this last year, maybe the year before. I think I started this in 2019. Y'all probably recognize the chart, and I will look it up and I'll put it down here. It'll say down here what it is. There is it's playing with jacks. I got it. It's playing with jacks. Because this center pumpkin is charted as a jack-o'-lantern, but they provide an alternate pumpkin that's these leaves. So I did that one. I think I changed up the bottom border a little bit as well. But this was I finished stitching this last year, and then I just fully finished it. This is a like little box thing that I got on clearance at Michael's. It went this way, and there was a piece of like pressed tin or something on here that had a saying that I just pried off, and I mounted the stitch on it and then just finished off, just added a little bit of ribbon that I had, like burlappy ribbon, to just make it look a little more finished off. So that'll just sit on a shelf. Actually, I could hang that on the wall. I might hang it on the wall. We'll see. I'm gonna have to get somebody in the house to help me with hanging all these things now. And then I ordered on Amazon they had like 2 packs of 6x6 frames, wood frames. They came with like a little piece of plexiglass, which I didn't use the plexiglass. I used it to mount the cross stitch. So these next 2, I mounted the stitched piece. I put some batting on the little plexiglass that came with it and mounted the stitching on it. So this first one is You're Okay by Bendy Stitchy. And it's charted to say You're Okay, I guess, as kind of like a snarky Valentine. I just thought it'd be a nice reminder to myself that you're okay. You're fine. Everything's fine here. So this is what the back of it looks like. So you can set it up on the table or you can hang it. So I just mounted that. So you can see there's a little bit of batting on there. And I'm pretty sure I did this with all called for colors on a piece of vintage country mocha Ada. So, and I finished that last year as well. That was a finish last year. Okay. And then this next one's in the same frame. And this is Olga by Plum Street Samplers, which I think I finished earlier this year. Maybe I might have finished it last year. But here we are. And I actually bought two packs of this frame because I also want to do, there's a dog, Brutus, I think, and a Cardinal Sergei that are kind of all in the same series and I want to stitch the other 2 as well. So I'll do it on the same, 36 count fabric. And this one's kind of tight in there, but that's fine by me. Like you can see it's right up there, but I think it looks great. All right, next one up. This is in a 10 by 10 frame that I picked up at Michael's, and this is Whip It Good. This is another one that could either sit or hang. So this is Whip It Good, and I did leave the glass in there, and So there's no batting on this. This I just mounted in there and left the glass on it. I see my ring light, because it is once again a very dreary afternoon here in Seattle. So there's not really much rhyme or reason to glass or no glass. I like the look of no glass on cross stitch, but if it just works better to have the glass with the frame, then I do. But there's not really a rhyme or reason. All right, so this next one is also from a frame I picked up at Michael's. This is a standard 8x10, and this is Needles Dance, and I think this frame goes great with it. So this is my finish on Needles Dance, which I think I also finished last year. And same thing, this I left I think it's like a plexiglass glass in there. It's not real glass, but I left that one in there and just slapped it in. I think there was like a matting in here that I actually just put the stitch piece around the piece of matting that was in there and then closed it up. This is my super professional. I mean, some of these, okay, these I actually did, I did lace. So these next two are frames that I purchased from Frame and Wire on Etsy. And you can go in, they have a ton of, you just drop down sizes, and or you can request a custom size. So these were ones that they actually had that were going to fit these pieces really well, because they just have a lot more options than what you typically see at Michael's or Joann. So this is September's Revenge. This was the Evertote by this is by Maximum Cross Stitch, and this was a September stitch along with Evertote. I used all the called for Roxy flosses, and I love it so much, and I think this frame looks great. So that's September's Revenge. And so you can see that one I did. They send a piece of foam core, and this one actually did come with glass, but I just laced the piece with some batting to that foam core, and then I'll hang it. So these do come with glass. You can request no glass, especially if you're doing like a custom size. And then my last fully finish is another Frame and Wire frame, and this is Midnight Watch. It looks so good. It looks so good in this frame. So you can see I just did the same thing. I just laced it with some batting onto the foam core that they provided, and this is going on my wall all year round. I don't care. Look how good it looks. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Okay, so those are my fully finishes. Those are the things I have fully finished in December. And that's it. all of my fully finishing energy is gone. Probably will not return for months and months and months, but I did some good work, and now we're just going to get those all up on the wall, and it's going to be great. So I feel good about that. All right. So let's go to, my finished project. So I was working on my oldest whip Christmas wish list, and with the goal to finish it this month. And I did. It's all finished. I finished this yesterday. That was kind of I am going to finish this before I film. So here it is. This is a truncated version. I didn't do the last, I think, 3 sayings and motifs, because this felt like a good place to end it for me and my family. And so there it is. I have a little extra at the bottom. This is a 16 count Ada by Picture This Plus in Ren with all the called for DMCs. And there it is. And I'm going to send this off to be made into like a quilted hanging piece that I can hang up. So there we go. I'm so happy with it. Is it my best stitching? No, there's something about like this Ada is so soft, and I stitch in hand, and it was easy to split, and like I think it looks great. but is not my best stitching in the whole world. And sometimes that's just okay. Here's the back. In case you want to see my back. But there it is. I think that's going to be the last finish of the year. I don't think there's going to be any more finishes. I think I'm going to go a little sweet here for the last 2 weeks of the year when I don't think that there's going to be much stitching anyway. And then I'm very excited for 24 finishes in 2024. So I think that's it. I think that's it for finishes in this year. And I think I had 22. I think I had 22 finishes this year. I may, if I have time, no promises, I may do a finish parade of all the things that I finished this year. But I don't know if I'll have time for that. We'll see. Maybe. So what whips do I have? I have 2 whips. 2 whips that I've been working on. And the first is my 25/7 piece that I showed the last time I was here that I was going to start as my new 25/7 piece. And that's Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. And I am stitching this on 36 count linen by Be Stitch Me in boot camp with all the called for threads. There's my tangly mess of threads, called for threads. And I've gotten some good work on this since I've seen you last. And I'm really enjoying it. So this is where I am on this. And last time we were together, I had some of the roof done. I had just pulled this out. Hadn't worked on it in a while. And I had everything and a little bit of the roof done. So I've built the whole house. I love stitching a house. I love building a house. So I got the house done. I had the chimneys and like 1 or 2 lines of roof done the last time you saw it. I did all the little Smyrna crosses of the berries there by the bird. And I did all the over one. So the over one is done. And that took me a couple days, more than a couple days. That probably took me like 4 days, just doing like 25 minutes. So I did the over one section is where it says Oh Joyous Day, the initials and the date. And then further down will be the year. So here it just says January 20. And then it'll say 2021 further down in the chart. But so all the over one is done. Yay! And now I'm going to start. I didn't have that folded correctly. I'm going to start working down the chart on this side. So I'm going to bring this border down. I'm going to work this section and then I'll start back up at the top, because the way you can kind of see, since I stitch in hand, I tend to roll my fabric this way and hold it in my left hand because I'm a right-handed stitcher. So I'll roll my fabric and work where I'm working. So I tend to like to work top to bottom, left to right. So I'll work here, and that way I just don't touch the stitch part as much like I do on the back side. But I don't know, it makes sense in my head. Does it really matter? Probably not, but that's how I like to do it. So I'm going to come down and work this section to the bottom. So you can see I'll bring this border down and I'll probably do these first 3 and then I'll come back up here and whoosh. So yeah, hopefully this won't take too long. I'm hoping in the first half of the year this will be finished next year. So that's my 25/7 piece I'll keep working on. And then when I finished Christmas wish list last night, I didn't have very much to finish up. It was pretty early in the evening when I finished that up. And so I went into my whips. Oh, I have one more whip to show. Silly me. I worked on for Sarah, my friend Sarah Memphis E. Her birthday was on the 9th, 8th. The weekend of the 8th and 9th. And she was doing a birthday stitch along the So Fancy Birthday Sal. And of course I had to stitch on something for Sarah's birthday. And what would be more fancy or more perfect for her birthday than my Mira? So I did get out Touching the Autumn Sky and worked one day. Worked one day for Sarah's birthday on touching the autumn sky, so I'll show it. So here it is. So I think I finished her hair and worked on the ribbons. And this is on my finish list for next year. And there's a lot more stitching to do. But I really am hopeful that I'll finish this up next year. Ugh, I love it. I love her hair. And just all the movement in her scarf and ribbons. So that was my one day of work for Sarah's birthday on touching the autumn sky. All right. See, it's a good thing I stuck that over there. Otherwise, I would have totally forgotten about it. Okay. So after I finished Christmas wish list, I went and looked at my projects, all my projects, and I thought, well, why don't I pull something? I have 24 whips that I have kind of targeted to finish next year, 2 a month. So I thought, let's pull one that's not on that list, that is kind of seasonal, that would be fun to just work on when I have time these last couple weeks. So I pulled 2. I worked on this one a little bit yesterday, but I'll show both of them to you because who knows. Or I might work on neither of these and some other 3rd, 4th, 5th option, in which case you'll see that after the first of the year. But last night I did work a little bit, and I don't have a cover page for this. I never do. This is Merry and Bright by Ship's Manor. And this was a restart. I had started this years ago, maybe 2019, 2020, and I hated the fabric. And so then I had Brandy at Be Stitch Me custom dye me a piece of Ada, and I restarted it last year, and I like it so much better. So here, I did not get much done last night, so we'll just use this as the starting place for Merry and Bright. I know I did this gold here and a little bit of this brown, but I didn't do a whole lot. So here is where I am on Merry and Bright on this custom like navy, dark navy Be Stitch Me Ada, and I'm using all of the called for Ship's Manor flosses. So these are the flosses. It is such a fun chart. If I find a picture, I will stick it in here. But I make no promises. I always have trouble finding a picture of this chart. I don't see many people stitch it, and there's not a cover like page that shows it in the PDF file. So, but there are all the, I just love it because they're kind of unexpected colors for a holiday stitch. So that's Merry and Bright. I think that this is probably what I will work on until Christmas. I was enjoying working on it a little bit last night, so I have a feeling this is what I'm going to work on until Christmas next week. And then I will probably pull out this project, which I started in 21 for my friend Nancy's birthday, and that is Winter Rose Manor. Look at that great big house. So I am stitching this in, I think, mostly called for. I don't know. It looks like it. I think I definitely I'm switching out the white, perhaps. Or I think maybe I picked out Country Lane. I know I probably switched out some of the colors. It'll say on my whip spreadsheet that I'll link in the description box. But I think that's close to called for. And what am I stitching this on? I am stitching this on 36 count vintage homespun. Is that an R&R? I think that's an R&R. And this is where I am. I have some border and that like medallion done in the upper left-hand corner. So yeah, that's that is where I've gotten to in 2 years. And this is not like slated for a finish next year because it's pretty big. It's pretty big. What's the size on this? 182 by 181. So it's a medium, but it's a big medium with lots of stitches in that house. I mean, it will be very, very fun to stitch, but I don't think that that's going to happen next year. So I thought I'd give it some love this year, especially as it will be Nancy's birthday again between now and the new year. So I thought that would be the perfect project to pull out and put some stitches on as I have time. So that is all of the stitching I have. I do have some purchases. There was a little bit of purchasing at the Jingle Ball and Black Friday, I think. So I'll show you my purchases, and then I do have one knitting project. Oh, we're doing good. All right, so Black Friday weekend, the weekend after American Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure is when I saw Evertote posted up that they had a sale on some in-stock project bags. And so I just had to go over there and look. And there were a couple that caught my eye that were the smaller size, so I picked them up. This is the first one. This smaller size works great for me because I don't, since I stitch in hand, as long as like the chart fits in here, which this will fit like an 8.5 by 11 chart, then they work great. So fantastic project bag. I love the postcards on it. And then this one, so fun. And these were good prices. There were some good prices. This one's so cute. It's chewing gum wrappers and with a cute little light pink inside. And it came with a set of Roxy floss to match. Isn't that adorable? So picked up a couple project bags. I am kind of thinking ahead a little bit to all the starts in 2025 and that I might need a few more project bags. So also came in the mail both of my fabric clubs. So this was the November fabric of the month from Brandy at Be Stitch Me. This is Macchiato. So nice. And is this a 32? Yes, this was my first. I switched over to 32 so I could get a little more 32 in stash. And that is just, that's good. She dyes some beautiful linen, And then this is my December Color and Cotton, and it is Sugar Cookie. If that isn't perfect for the holidays. And I'm still getting a 36 from Color and Cotton. So there's Sugar Cookie. I can't with their gorgeous linens. They're so perfect. And then I did do a little shopping at the Jingle Ball. I did pretty good, but I did purchase a couple things from the Jingle Ball booth. I got this year's ornament book. I'm sure lots of Flosstubers have been showing it. Here's the other projects. There's just this one from Satsuma Street. I love this one. I mean, anything that Kathy designs, really. This is so cute. This Bright Spirits as like a little wine gift hanger tag from Heartstring Samplery. Just so like blue flower. Look at this little red panda with a peppermint stick. There's so many good ones in here. This felt like a steal of a deal. This little booklet. And then they had an exclusive little trim pack from Lady Dot Creates. I'm always love having the Lady Dot Creates trims hanging around. And then I had stitched, that I'd shown in one of my more recent videos, a Satsuma Street kit that I had stitched. So I would have it to take her class, which I did go and watch, and I didn't finish as I was watching. I was just really focused on what she was doing. But I love stitching that ornament so much that I bought some. I feel like I really held back because I could have bought them all, but I decided to start collecting her 12 Days of Christmas. So these are the first 4. She's going to do one a year. So you know, so I've got some time. There'll be 8 more years. So there's partridge in a pear tree, 2 turtle doves, French hen. Look at that with the Eiffel Tower. Stop. This one is killing me. This is this year's. Calling birds. The old rotary phone. And like the vintage rotary phone. Amazing. Her kits are fantastic. They come with everything you need to do them. They're so good. So those were my purchases from the Jingle Ball. I feel like there were definitely a bunch more charts that I would have liked to have purchased. But since I'm not really starting anything next year, I figure I can wait until they're out next year. So that's all the cross stitch stuff. I'm just going to show the one knitting project I've been working on, and then we'll be done. You all can go watch some whip parades or Flossmas. So many fun Flossmas videos as well. All right. I can't remember if I had finished the section on the countdown wrap, but I know I was close, so I didn't bring that over. I did finish up that section if I hadn't already showed it. And I am now working on my, what's it called? Anthology throw? By Curious Handmade? Yeah, Anthology throw by Curious Handmade. Gotta get the readers out. And I finished up the color. I'm knitting this with last year, the 2022 Fiber Fox Advent set. And I finished up the color I was working on, and I just joined and have done a couple rows of this color. So this is the next one, and then we move to this one. So it's a beautiful, this one I think was called, last year's was Enchanted Forest. And and this year's is so beautiful. I thought I was going to do the Snow Day wrap, but now I'm almost wondering if it would be enough if I added maybe one more main skein, if I would have enough to do a sweater. I don't know what, I haven't decided. I really haven't decided what I'm doing with this year's. The fade is, it just melts together. It is so beautiful, this year's Advent, as I'm opening them. It's called Golden Hour, and it goes from just like a cream to a golden to browns, and now we're headed into like pinks. Oh, it's the most beautiful thing. This one also amazing, and these are totally my color. So I'm just gonna keep working away on this. And yeah, I don't know if you can maybe kind of see, I think I've done maybe 2 rows where the new color has come in. So just working away on my throw. This will be a big circular throw when it's done. I think this is color 9 or 10. So I think this might be color 10. So we're getting there. Getting there. If only I knit as fast as I bought yarn. But alas, I do not. I'll be all set for retirement eventually someday. So that's all I have. I hope everyone is having a wonderful end of the year, and hope you get some time to spend time with the people that you love and care about, doing the things that you love to do, and we'll be all set to go into the new year. Until then, take care. Bye.